Okay, so welcome everyone. This is, I think, session 4 for my summer series called Hot Girl Websites That Make You Money. This one's really about that make you money piece, so I'm excited to share it with you all. So we're going to be talking about your website should be booking clients while you sleep, and here's why it might not be doing that. Okay, so what we're covering today, first, what actually sparks an inquiry? How do we actually get people to go from browsing to booking? 2, how your site sells without feeling pushy. We want to build trust in this year of the trust economy, not be pushy. 3, the shifts that change everything, how you can actually go from just existing to actually booking clients. And then we're going to do a little bit of a self audit at the end. Okay, so before I just start telling you a bunch of facts about websites, here's my credentials. My name is Izzy Waite. I'm a brand and website designer. I started Izzy Waite Design 5 years ago. I've launched countless websites. My specialty is in Showit and Squarespace. My whole thing is that I take someone who's really passionate about their business and I help that become a beaming light in their branding and then apply that to a website that actually gets them booked. I move really fast. My signature package is called Branding and Website in 1 week, where I do your brand and create a website and launch it all by Friday. So when I'm not doing all those things, you find me with a million dogs around me because I foster dogs pretty much constantly. So we're big dogs people in this house, and we love to take them hiking, hanging out with friends, and just reading books. So that's a little bit about me. But as a designer, of course, I have to give you some design credentials as well. So here are some projects that I worked on in the past. I don't necessarily have any industry niches. I have my niche as people who are really ready to go and want to do it quickly, but want to do it really well and effectively. So I've worked with Giant Flowers LA. She was a guest in Harvest for a little bit. Flower Farmers, Interstellar Performance Lab. She trains astronauts, custom home builders, CPR training, coaches, anything you can really think of. If you're mostly a woman and you want to launch a website and you want it to look beautiful and you want it to be effective, I'm your gal. So those are my credentials. I promise I've been doing this for a while and I know what I'm talking about. So today is a really, really important one that I'm really excited to share with you because it's the big idea of your website should just be a digital business card. And I think that's what a lot of people end up letting their website become, is just it sits there, their contact information's on it, and that's it. But really, it should be your hardest working team member because it's the one thing that's always up and running, right? So we really want to make sure it's effective to convert people. Okay. For the most people, their website just sits there, right? And it's not always, we're not really thinking about conversion. We're thinking about, I gotta do this and do this to get more clients. But the average website conversion rate is 2.35%. So that means 97% of people that are visiting your website aren't converting. That's like a huge area that we could increase even by 1%. Think of how many more leads that's going to be. So we really want to think about how we can, if you're not at the average of 2.3%, how we can get you to that average, or how we can even maximize it further so you're converting more people that land on your website. Because 97%, like there's so much room for grabbing some of those people and turning them into leads. Here's what research says about your website. So when someone lands on your website, they form their first impression in 0.05 seconds. It's like this. You have to make it snappy. You have to really catch people's attention. 94% of people's first impression are design related. So I know someone mentioned that they're wordy and they like to just put a lot of words on there, but truthfully, sometimes having just a lot of words on your website can actually take away from that design impression because it's like so overwhelming. And lastly, 88% won't return to a website after a bad experience. So if your website's not loading, if they can't click a button, something's not working, they're automatically going to write you off and be like, and not everyone, 88% of people are going to write you off and be like, that's not a real company, their website's not working, it's broken, blah, blah, blah. We don't want to end up there. Okay, so this part is really important because it's This is what turns a casual visitor into someone who's actually ready to inquire, reach out, book, pay, whatever your next step is. One, immediate clarity. And it has to be seen really quick. And in fact, in 2.5 seconds, we need that immediate clarity. What do you do? Who's it for? Is this person the right thing for me? So that first hero statement on your website, what hopefully some of you guys are familiar with the word above the fold. The above the fold of your website is what anyone can see without scrolling. So in that above the fold, you want to have a really crystal clear statement that helps people identify what you do, who you do it for, and how it's going to help them. Next, one clear next step. I don't want to see a million links on your website that go to this and book here for this, book here for this, go learn more about this. No, if we want inquiries while we sleep, I want one immediate next step of what you want someone to do. So when you're thinking about your website, get really clear on the goal. Do you want people to book a discovery call? Do you want people to buy your product? What is that one thing that you want them to do, and make that abundantly clear? Proof it's worked before. Real results. We're going to talk more into this because I think a lot of the things people are doing for testimonials right now don't work. You need to be really clear that it's worked for real people. So I have another thing about that because that's a really important one. Lastly, language that mirrors them. So you really need to think about who your dream client is, and on your website, use language that they would use. You want them to land on your website and be like, is this person in my brain? How did they speak exactly the way I speak? That's what you want. You want to really mirror your ideal client in your website copy. Okay, these are big ones. So let's jump into a few of them a little bit more. There is a shift happening in our economy, good or bad, I don't know yet. But one of the things that's really becoming important is a trust economy. So I'm going to jump more into that, but you really want to think about how you're building trust constantly. So nowadays, buyers do so much more research before they ever reach out. They're stalking your Instagram. They've read your sales page. They've maybe seen if you're tagged in any posts on Instagram of past clients. Like, they're really doing research. Even solo decision makers are like window shopping way more than ever deciding, because there's a million people to, right? Okay. Even solo decision makers are now shopping. Hold on, let me think where I was for a second. That was a good point. They're shopping because there's so many people out there, and it's so easy to find and look through all the lists of coaches out there. Like, if I'm looking for a coach, I can Google search and find 100, and so people are doing so much more window shopping. So you have to build trust to make yourself stand out. AI-powered search results. This is really interesting. I don't know if any of you guys have gotten leads yet. I have, where they've been like, I talked to ChatGPT for an hour about my problems and you came up as a result. I don't understand it. It's crazy, but it's pre-filtering, and it's really taking some of that, maybe I want this, maybe I want this, and it's making high intent people. So when they land on your website, they're already pre-filtered, and they're like, ChatGPT said this would be the perfect coach for me, the perfect email marketer helper. They're coming in already knowing you solved their problem. So you really need to continue that, and you're not necessarily selling to them anymore. Now you need to build the trust. Your website is the trust building work, and that you want to use it to build that trust before they even book a discovery call. It's no longer, hey, hop on this call and have a conversation with me and let me tell you why you can trust me. It's they're window shopping, so you need to do that early on. Okay, so let's talk about trust singles that convert. Okay, your revenue can be boosted by 270% when you have visible reviews and testimonials versus none. So if you're looking at your website and you don't have a single testimonial right now, you can increase that revenue by 270% by just having more testimonials. Okay, Now, this is really the key here because this is becoming more and more relevant, especially with not knowing who to trust, not always having like the best, like just having 20 coaches to sift through. This piece can really set you apart. It says 0.4 to 1.1% of bookings come from when they can see a real image of a past client along with the testimonial. So what people do a lot on their website right now is they say like, this is a great service. I would definitely work with this coach, blah, 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 blah. Signed JM. So many people have those right now. And like a lot of consumers now are like, I don't know if that means anything. I don't know who that person is. I don't know where this testimonial is actually coming from. So you can increase your conversion by putting real past clients' photos, names on your website along with their testimonials. Or things like videos. Videos go a long way if you have some video testimonials, screenshots of actual emails and messages. You want something that sets you a little bit farther apart than just saying, that Izzy's the best. I loved working with her. Signed, Sarah. Who's Sarah? Like how can we build this trust a little bit further? Okay, 3, 18 to 42% of the completion list, meaning people who actually start a form and finish it, check out, book the call, whatever that is, are from security badges. This is really interesting. And this is a lot of times for e-commerce or people who are buying directly. So buying a membership, paying for whatever it is. That completion lift means people who are actually finishing that process will do it 18 to 42% more if you have an icon on your checkout page of a padlock or of guaranteed checkout, or you have a security banner that tells them it's a trusted site. Even if it is a trusted site and you don't necessarily, like I think sometimes like Squarespace checkout is secured, but it doesn't necessarily say that right out. So if you can add a line that says this is a secure checkout, or have a padlock, or just have some kind of like a little piece there that's going to help people really be like, oh, this is safe. It does actually help people finish the process. So think of adding that however you can if it fits into your business. Lastly, I've talked about this a lot, but it's really key in this trust economy. 97% of consumers are reading reviews before engaging in a local business. So if you have a local brick and mortar, or you have a group that meets in person, people are going to read those reviews so much more nowadays because they want to kind of like vet out the experience before they actually step into that place. So these are all just different ways that you can try and build trust on your website, because again, shoppers and buyers and potential clients are doing so much more research, whether it's just through Google searches, stalking you on Instagram, AI. They're doing so much more intentional research. So you need to think about on your end, what can you do to really up-level that trust that you're building with them before they talk to you? Okay, another thing that people are kind of sick of is that really pushy salesy website. Like people want to know the transformation. They want to know how you've helped real people. They don't want you to just push at them like, buy this immediately right now, because that's not working anymore. So these are things that you can think about as far as selling that aren't necessarily pushing your product down someone's throat, because I don't think people are really liking that as much nowadays. So social proof first. Again, if you take away anything from this, it's that social proof is really key right now. So let past clients make your case for you. See if there's any past clients that will let you use their photo on their website along with a testimonial, a video, share it on your Instagram, whether that's in your highlights or an actual post. Let your past clients really sell for you. Quiet authority. These are the credentials and results that really build that trust without selling too hard. So you can talk about, where your clients are, having logos on your website of your past clients. If your clients are featured in any media, you can also talk about that. If you've been featured in any media, if you have any specific credentials, put those out there so people can be like, I think because it's so easy to just like come up with this fake persona nowadays when we're selling online. And people really want to know like, what credentials does this person actually have that makes them able to, that makes me want to really actually work with them, you know? So think about that. Another thing right now is having a small ask first. So sometimes, especially if you're a big ticket business owner and your offers are really expensive, it can be kind of hard for someone to just jump in and be like, okay, here's $8,000, let's get started. So think about if there's any small ask that you can have first so that people can kind of get introduced to buying from you, working with you, things like quizzes, guides, or discovery calls. I will say, this is kind of changing in this literally like this month. This is kind of changing and updating. So I don't exactly know where it's going to go. But freebies and lead magnets that are mostly PDFs are going to be gone probably by the end of the year. I know, crazy. I still have a few on my website. What's coming forward is building micro tools. And so think about when you're selling some of these small ass items, instead of having these PDFs, what if you build a tool in AI that allows people to mock something up or figure out what their problems are? Like, see if there's any other ways that you can make these small asks first more attainable and more impactful with the help of AI. And that's going to lower that barrier to entry. Frame, don't push. People want to know the transformation. People don't just want to see, act now, you'll get $500 off of this package, blah, 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 blah. No, people want to see you can go from this to this, and right now it's $500 off. Like, how can you frame it so that people are really seeing the transformation they're going to get from you? Okay. And then one of the main things that I said a few slides ago was having one call to action above the fold so that people know immediately what they're supposed to do next. Don't make it hard for people to give you money. Make it really clear. So hidden, vague, or inconsistent call to actions kill conversion. One clear call to action beats having 5. Because what if I land on your website, I'm like, you know, I like these services, I like this, but I don't know where I fit in. So I don't reach out because I'm confused. Eliminate that. One clear call to action. So on the buttons on your website, a lot of times people will say like, learn more, or I don't know, something else generic, vague, book now, something like that. Like, what are we booking? What are we learning about? Instead, try and make your call to action really clear. Book your free consult. Done. I know exactly what I'm doing. Even if I don't know what package I fit into, I can just do that right away. These are the things that really make it quick so that people don't just move away because they're confused. Okay. This is a big one. So let's take this in for a moment. If it's not working on mobile, it's not working. So many more people are using mobile to look up services, look up coaches, look up these things because they're on Instagram. Maybe they see you on Instagram and they click over to your website. That's how people are finding people right now. So an average, we already talked about this, the average conversion rate on a desktop is 3.14%. The average conversion rate on a mobile phone is 1.8%. These numbers are so low because people aren't building their website with the mobile view in like the forefront of their mind. So most of your traffic, think about that. Most of our traffic is coming to our website on a phone, yet it's the lowest conversion rate. So we need to design and test your website for a screen. It should not be an afterthought. It should be during the whole design process. How is this going to look on a phone? Is it going to have the same effect? 1 second. A single second of load delay can cost you up to 7% of conversions. So this goes to the mobile phone specifically, but I think it covers mobile and desktop, but if someone goes from your Instagram to your website and it takes more than a second to load, that's going to cause a majority of people to be like, no, I'm going to go back to Instagram. I'm going to continue scrolling. Because a lot of times when people are on Instagram, they're in that instant gratification mindset, right? They're scrolling, they're seeing reels, they're constantly moving. If they see a reel from you and they're like, oh, this is interesting, let me go to that website, and then it takes too long to load, boom, they're back to their Instagram reel. So really think about how your website is showing up on a mobile phone, and is it too slow? Because not only is it going to get people to jump away and go back to Instagram, but it also is going to help. It's also going to make you rank lower in SEO. So really think about load time of your website. Now, in the beginning, I talked about how your website should be working while you sleep, and how your website should be one of your best employees. These are the 3 things you can do to make sure that that's auto running in the background. First, smart intake form. These are forms that help you qualify leads and understand who the person is. So a lot of people will just have a Calendly, like book a discovery call, and they can book it on Calendly, which is great if you're not going to have anything else. But if we're doing the next step, it's really helpful to have an intake form as well. This allows people, because there's 2 reasons. One, it allows you as a business owner to know who you're talking to before you jump on that discovery call. But also, sometimes it can help qualify the leads. You can say, what's your price point? And you can start at $1,000 to $4,000. You can kind of put those parameters in the form. So when someone's filling out, if they're like, oh, I don't have $500 to spend on this isn't the right time for me, they're going to go away. So now, not only are you getting more leads, but you're getting more qualified leads, which is really important. Auto scheduling. So if someone is still emailing you to set up an appointment, that is so much time on your hands as a business owner. How many back and forths do you have to do before you both have a spot in your calendar that's free, right? It just can become chaotic. So auto scheduling is really important nowadays if we want our website to really move these conversions along. And so think about what kind of scheduling app you can have on your website so people can just pick a time, boom, it pops on your calendar. Lastly is a follow-up. So when someone does finally auto schedule a time, don't just leave it there. See if you have a CRM that can send an instant confirmation. So for example, my branding website in a week, I have a smart intake form. It asks them a little bit about branding website in a week, if they're ready for this, where their current website is, that kind of stuff. They pick a time, schedule it, boom. Then as soon as they schedule it, an auto email comes from my account and it goes something like, I'm so excited to talk to you about branding website in a week. If you haven't yet looked, here is that package. So you can look at details, pricing. Here is some past client testimonials, blah, blah, blah. So now they're on my calendar, but they automatically get a warm email from me that gives them more information to look into before we even have our discovery call. So it really keeps that momentum going. Sometimes when people just book a call and then that's it, let's say your calendar's full for a week or 2. They book a call a week or 2 out. They don't get any more confirmation from you. They might not even remember what they booked this call for. We really want to think about how we can continue to warm them automatically before we even jump on that call. Okay, so here are just a few shifts, 5 shifts that can change everything to go from just existing to booking clients. Okay, vague messaging. We're not doing vague messaging anymore. We're getting crystal clear with our positioning, what we do, how we do it, is it for them? Boom. Contact us. One obvious, repeatable call to action. What is that next step you want people to do? If you're listening to the PowerPoint, hopefully it's fill out a contact form, book a call, automate an email. But what is that? Truly to your business, if you thought about your business in a year, if you had X number more of this one thing, and that would make your business incredible, what is that one thing? And push that on your website. Assume trust. Earn trust, show proof, real people. That goes so far. Go from design first or desktop first design to mobile first. We really want to think about how our website's showing up on mobile. Manual follow-up, gonna stress us out. It's gonna eat our time. Now we're automating systems so that even if someone books a call at 3 a.m., they're getting an email back from you immediately. Okay, here's a little self-audit. So I'm gonna ask you these questions and think about them. And then I think we have a slide coming up where we can actually unmute ourselves and talk about them. So for now, why don't you all just write down your answers and we'll come back to it. Can a stranger tell what you do and who it's for in 5 seconds? Actually, you know what? If you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down in the chat right now. No, that's okay. I promise you're not alone. Okay, good, good. Okay, that's okay. Next, do I have real testimonials with real people's faces on my website? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. No. Oh, Stephanie does. Okay. Yep. It goes really far. So think about if you can get those on your website. Okay. Can someone book or inquire without emailing you on your website? Yes. Okay, that's good. A lot of people have really stepped up in that automation game right now. So I wasn't surprised that you guys have those figured out. Next, is there one clear call to action visible above the fold? So before people even scroll, is there one really clear call to action? No. Yes, book with me. Good. No. Okay, I have 3. Too many, Steph. What is that like main thing you want people to do?
Yeah, but see, I want to know your opinion on which 2 to drop.
Okay.
Because I don't know which 2 to drop. They all seem so important to me.
What are your 3 right now?
My 3 are, okay, I have in the header menu, I have book a chat.
Okay.
And then right below like the main title and the sub is become a member and find local meetups. Become a member, obviously, I want people to go to become a member. That's like the main thing. And then find local meetups is how most people actually come and meet us.
Yeah. So you is different because you have an online business, but you also have a local business. I think you should have a separate landing page for the local side. That would help you with keyword research or like SEO research as well, because you could really target the area. That one should be like find a local meetup. On your main one, where people from all over are landing on, it should be become a member, because, and especially in the top 2, become a member. I think the consumer who isn't ready yet is going to keep scrolling. They're going to keep looking more into it. You can have book a call somewhere else. You want the top one to be like, yep, I'm ready to go. That's what I would do.
I'm taking it down now. Thank you.
Okay, wait. How do I see? I want to open the messenger box.
Oh, the chat here. Let me. Can you click on this message? When it pops up, click on it, and it should take you into the chat if that's what you're looking for.
Yep. I currently have product links there too. That's tricky. I would probably put that lower, like put your products a little lower, and the first call to action should be like whatever you immediately want to happen. Lauren, one above the fold on my homepage, but I'm not sure it's the clear enough. Let's talk email. Lower on the page, I also have subscribe for free for my newsletter. Yeah, so when I'm designing a homepage, a lot of times there are a few additional call to actions, right? Like maybe we do have that subscribe to a free thing or learn more about me. I call those buttons not money-making buttons. So I make those ones a little less visible. My money making buttons are like the brightest color, the most visible. And then if I have any other call to actions on the page, I'll invert the button. So it's like a brighter color on the outside, but then like a less noticeable color on the inside. So that's how I can kind of separate on a homepage of like, what are those really important call to actions versus you still want to have a button here, but it's not like a money making step basically. Let's talk email. That one's hard because it could potentially be depending on your copy, right? Like if your copy is like, I'm going to set you up to have the best emails, like book a discovery call now. And then it says, let's talk email, that might work. But if it's not super clear in the copy, I would clarify that a little bit more. Okay. Let's go back to this page now. Okay. The payoff of doing those 4 things is that your website's going to work while you sleep. Okay, here are your 3 action items. Write down, do these things this week. They're really small, but they have a really big impact. Rewrite your headline to say what you do and who's it for really clearly. Lauren, sometimes the button thing, I think, and I fall into this trap too. We really want to be clever. We want to be fun. And so we come up with like some punchy little like call to action, but it's always better to be clear than clever when it comes to like converting. And you can still show your personality in other ways. Maybe that's in other spots of the copy. Maybe it's in your photos, your graphics. But when we think about those action steps, we want them to be really clear. So that one will take you about 30 minutes, hopefully. 2, cut to 1 call to action. Steph, we already did this for you, but remove competing buttons or links. And again, on your homepage, yes, sometimes you have other links to other things. How can you make that button appear less attention getting? Because we want that one main call to action to be the most attention getting button. Okay, so go through your homepage, especially your sales page, and see if you can cut out some of those call to actions. And if you really feel like you want some of them in there, but they're not the money making call to action, then see if you can tone out the button so it's not gonna like grab people's attention and take them away from the main call to action. Add 1 trust signal to your website this week. A new review, a headshot, a real result, screenshots of messages, DMs from past clients, things that people are going to be like, oh yeah, this is for sure a real testimonial, right? Or maybe if you don't have their photos, but you can link to their Instagram, or I don't know if I've seen that before, or Google reviews. Google reviews are more trustworthy because they're always from a real Google account. So those ones can help too. So think about how you can add 1 of them to your website this week. Okay. That's the end. I'm Izzy with Izzy Rate Design. If you have questions, here is my email, my website, and my Instagram. Feel free to reach out.